Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy Collins, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Aktion. I'd like to thank you for joining us today for our expert webinar on our VantagePro suite. Today's webinar is being recorded, and a link will be sent out following the session as a reference for you. Everyone is muted, but if you have questions, we encourage you to enter them in the chat or the Q&A feature. I will monitor them throughout the presentation, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Kathy Kingsley, a senior consultant here at Aktion, will be doing the bulk of the presentation, along with Melissa Pazinski, our practice manager of our AES division. And with that, I'm going to let Kathy get started.
All right, thanks, Amy, for that. Welcome to this demo. I'm just going to jump right into some demos of three of the main pieces of our VantagePro suite tools that we have. As you can see here, this is the first one I'd like to go over is the Professional License Hub. And this is just a nice hub that can sort of keep track of all the different licenses for your employees by state. So you have one place to go that you can see all this information and you can report on it from here. It is linked up to the employee hub. So you'll see, this is the license for, say, Missouri, and that we have 2 licensed employees. And if you go to Isaac here, it's going to bring you over to the employee hub. And in that, what we're linking to here is under this professional tab. You've got your credentials, so you can see here that he's a licensed PMI in Missouri. So those two go together. So you can enter it here, and it will bring back. It'll link up into the Professional License Hub. Also, you could link them. You could add employees here, and then that'll bring it over into their employee record as well. This has, and for each state, if you need the COA license number, your SOS registration, you can keep track of that here. The hub brings the normal files and links tab, so you can upload files and keep that documentation here. So it's just a nice way to keep it all in one place. You can put general notes as well. There is also an additional grid below for additional licenses. So say if, a certain city in Missouri needs additional licenses, you can add those here and keep track of, expiration dates, and you can add a related project. So if your project's over, then maybe you don't need to renew this one again. So it's just a nice way to keep track of everything all in one place. You can then report off of it easier as well. So that's one of them. Another of the hubs is our user maintenance hub. So this is a nice way for you to keep track of your employees and make sure that they have the same grid views as everyone else. So for example, in timesheets, you've got any of the grids, but everybody knows timesheets, so we go here. If you look at these settings, you've got available columns. So if you want, your employees to always see the same things, you can set this up for a specific role, and then you can push it out to users. So it's a great thing to use when you're first going to VantagePoint. So you can give everybody a standard look and feel. It's also good for, as you get new employees, you can take a standard setup and push it out to them. You've also got the ability to push out common preferences. So if you go up in here into your gear and my preferences, I'm not sure if all of them are there, but many of them are here. So just on one screen, you can set those and push it out. So basically how it works is you would pick an employee here. So we've got Pat Hill, and we populate the user source selection here, and she's got 3 different roles set up. So you want to pick whichever one you would want to push out. So we'll say we want to push out her PSA role. Then you would go through and check whichever of these settings that you want for the preferences to go as well. You'd populate the target list, so that'll give you everybody down here, all your employees. So Then you can sort by, name. Here I've got it sorted by date hired. So if there was a new hire, we could just pick them. And then you just hit this little copy and it would push it out. So they've got a common view of grids. Coming in this hub at some point, we have some ability to clean up user favorites and to delete users, which I know is a common problem for lots of people. We're working on this functionality at the moment. So that'll be coming soon, since VantagePoint obviously doesn't let you delete users, since you've got all sorts of things that may be tied to it. So we're working on code that will clear that up.
I would say, Kathy, I find lots of people like this feature just for brand new employees to push out and have their grids already ready, so they don't have to teach them how to use VantagePoint on day one, but yet they're looking at the same thing as the person training them.
Right.
So
right. Makes it easy, right? So everybody's looking at the same thing. Keeps some of the confusion down, right?
Absolutely. So it also makes a VantagePoint launch much simpler when everybody's got grids looking exactly the same way, same column, same order. It does not turn on grids that they don't, or fields that they don't have access to. It simply puts the grids in the same order. So.
Right. Right. So if in security roles they don't have access to a certain field, they still won't see it, but it will put the fields in the right order that you want them to see them in. Right. Is there anything else on that you would?
It really makes a difference having that little digital grouping thing happen. So.
Well, this little guy, yeah. So as we have found out, when VantagePoint comes in, the default is for no digital grouping. So you see your numbers with no commas, no $sign. So a lot of people don't like that. So this is a nice way you can set it down here and push it out that you want to see a digit and comma, decimal period, however you want to see it. All right.
That's a big deal when people are trying to find their commas.
Right. So. Looks much nicer with commas. So then the third hub that we have is the master service agreements, which is, again, it's a way to keep track of your master service agreements that you have. And you have a nice grid down here of projects that you can link all your projects that are associated with a particular master service agreement. And you can keep running totals. Up at the top here, you've got a count of the number of projects. You've got your contract values all summed up. And you can also see how much is remaining. So in this example, we've got it as the total contract amount that is associated with the projects. And then whatever's billed will be taken off, and you'll see that this is the remaining. Some clients will use an awarded amount. So instead of this being this contract total, you could have, say I was awarded $2 million for this. So then we could keep the running total based on that. But it's really customizable and however you want to see your data. Again, it's got, a numbering feature. You can number it however you want. We can have auto number. It's, keeps track of the client. And then a nice thing is in the client hub, if we go over there, under the associations tab, you'll see a grid for the MSA summary. And so I'll give you a nice quick total of how much they've got in their MSAs. And again, there's the number and the contract remaining and billed and what the contract is there. Excuse me. So if we go back here, these grids are totally customizable. You can, have different fields here. A lot of clients want to have their stages, these sort of things. So anything you want in here, that's in VantagePoint, we can pretty much pull in here. There's a nightly workflow that runs, and we'll, keep these totals updated for you. Some clients create the master service agreement in the projects hub. So for those clients, you can have it create the MSA record in this hub from the project if you want, or if you don't do that, then you can just manually create a new master service agreement and link up your projects, and everything will be kept track of in there. It's got the files and links tab as well, so you can keep any documentation that you want related to that. Again, all these fields customizable. We can have workflows off the expiration date, so it can go to somebody and say, hey, this is going to expire. You need to reach out and get that renewed, or not.
I also have, I have it linked for several on the client. When I go to that client, then I'm able to see what MSAs that client has and the details about it. So there's a grid that it's just a read-only grid, but it tells me, hey, I've got 5 MSAs with this client who are about to expire.
Right. That's through here, right? You mean?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's in this database or not. It's on the associations tab.
Yeah, right here.
Yep.
So this doesn't have the expiration on this in this database, but.
So I can see all the MSAs I might have with the client. So it's nice to see year over year, if you had one for each year, that you're able to track it and report on that as well. And also to help make sure you don't leave money on the table.
Right. Use it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know, is there anything else I left out on these? Those are, I mean, they're pretty simple hubs, but pretty powerful if
Yeah. And then the next version of VantagePoint's also allowing for us now to start doing dashboards with user-defined info centers. So looking forward to that. Reporting is obviously already ready to go with these, and setting the alerts as you talked about. But it also opens up what all is capable of VantagePoint. What else can you do? What else can you think? What is being done in a manual basis on an Excel spreadsheet by several people? You won't get rid of every Excel spreadsheet, but what else is out there that could be tracked and can be automated so that you're not looking at double entry of data? Like when you add a project here, it's pulling in everything for you. You're not having to double entry. You just have to indicate which MSA it attaches to. Everything else is done for you. So Donna asked how we open these hubs. So these we've opened and created. To do it, it would go under settings and user defined fields, and there you're able to create a new hub. Screen designer.
Screen design.
Yep.
There it is, sorry. So if you want to create a new hub, you just go there. And then it'll just open up just like your any other screen. So you can design from here, right?
We just offer these as a full built package ready to go, so you can be ready to go quickly, and then from there you could obviously add additional customizations or fields that are and metrics that are important to you.
Right, we've obviously got the workflows and code in the background that are loading all this data on the fly. So.
Any other questions about what it can do or ways to use this? Oh. I know personally at my previous firms, they have master service agreements was big. For them, professional license was a bigger thing just because they could have automated reports coming to them that says, hey, in this state, we have these things expiring in the next 90 days. So somebody could chase down the architect or the engineer and say, have you done your continuing ed credits? Are you ready to go? Are we going to be able to do a license? Depending on if somebody's in charge of that or if it's left to them. But it just helps you keep track of that. Or if you have a huge project in the city of Houston and you need to make sure that that person's license doesn't expire due to change orders having to be signed and things like that. So it also helps, succession if somebody leaves the firm, being able to see who else you can pass things to. So it was asked if there's a one-time charge to have these hubs set up. Okay. Do you want to cover that, Kathy?
Why don't you take that?
So what we typically do is we have a small subscription fee that we charge just on an annual basis, and then we do a fee just to set it up. But that way we are constantly testing the next version of the system, and that way if there's a script update that might need to change due to Deltek upgrading features and functions within their system, then that way we're able to make sure we provide it to you as well and keep that updated as for going forward. I've not had anyone tell me they don't want the hub after they get it though.
Yeah, well, it seems like lots of clients are really liking especially the MSA one and the user
User
payments,
yeah,
especially when they first go to VantagePoint.
Mm-hmm. That mental ease of not having to set everybody's grids or convince them or teach them how to do it.
Right.
Just having timesheets in the same order makes it nice. So.
Yeah. And the MSA hub, I've also had a lot of clients asking for another grid below this to keep track of the different sub-consultants that might be on the MSA. So we've just set up another grid below this that has, the project, the consultant in there, and, billed and spent or whatever fees in there, whatever they want to see. So keep track of that stuff as well.
Then you automatically populate it from all the AP transactions and such.
Right.
Nice. Perfect. It's a lot of information, but there's not a lot to say. It's just really what do you need in order to make your life easier?
Right.
For MSA, I do have a current client that are very, very large, and they have a lot of MSAs. And so they set up a project for the MSA itself. And so what we set up for them was just a button that they push and it goes and creates this MSA record ready to use for them. And then they can start adding projects to it. Any tasks they have, it automatically will add them to it.
Nice. All right. I guess I didn't show that if these are obviously linked in the project. So I guess down the bottom. Yeah. So down the bottom here, there's this. You can link the project to the MSA here as well, and that it would suck in all the dollar information and bring it into that hub.
Yeah. Perfect. Any other questions? Anyone answer for anyone? No. I have one firm that has 30 columns in their MSA Hub linked project grid.
Yikes.
So it lets them do reporting like they need. So
Yep.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, lots of them have lots of different note fields as well for different things.
Yep.
I've seen things with different, billing notes and things like that as well.
Makes sense. Perfect. Amy, do you have any additional notes for us?
I do not. I think you've seen everything that came through. Does anyone have any other questions that they would like the ladies to answer while we have them on the line? If not, you can always reach out to your primary consultant, or you can contact us at support@Aktion. So we just got one more question from Joan. Does the subscription charge cover all hubs, or is it prorated if you do not need all of them?
Certainly. So the subscription is per hub. So because some firms only want, user maintenance hub, or they only want the MSA hub. And so we just price them out each separately. We just want to make sure we showed like 3 examples of hubs that we've built up.
There is information on the website. There's a brochure that covers all of the hubs. If actually, I can include that in the follow-up email that goes out this afternoon.
Perfect.
So as I said at the beginning of the webinar, today's session is recorded, and a link to the recording will go out this afternoon. If not this afternoon, then tomorrow to everyone on the call. Please feel free to share it with your colleagues, and I will include the VantagePro suite brochure so you guys can see all the different offerings and what's, what the different hubs entail. So I think that's it for our session today. Thank you both, Kathy and Melissa. This was great information. And if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to support@aktion.com. Thank you. Have a great day.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks.